Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I've got a few news items and updates, a bunch of little things, so just bear with me for a minute. First, I'm excited to announce that we are increasing our employee referral bonus. So we know that employee referrals are one of our top two most successful ways to bring in new employees. You are one of our most important recruitment tools, and we're happy to pay you for your efforts. So when you refer somebody who is hired by the agency, you get a bonus. If you refer somebody who's hired between June 1st and September 1st, 2023, that referral bonus will, instead of being the usual 500, it will be going up to $700 total. That's the total potential for bonus earnings. That's broken into four payments over the person's first year of employment. If the person's hired between June 1st and September 1st of this year and stays employed at Sassy for a full 12 months, you'll earn up to $700. You'll earn pieces of that along the way, up to 700 at the 12-month mark. So stay tuned for information in your email and on the exchange so you can share this opportunity with friends, family, neighbors, classmates. Over the past 6 months, I'm very happy to say we've had a net gain of new direct care staff every month. That's a great step in the right direction. We want to keep the momentum going. You can help. Thank you for helping us identify great new folks to join our team here at Sassy. I also want to let you know about a change here at the Elma office. If you visit for a meeting or for whatever reason at West Maple Court, you may notice that the reserved parking signs have been taken down. Those were for me and members of our executive staff. You know what? We have plenty of parking. I don't mind walking a few steps to my car. But we want to keep removing those barriers between leadership and the rest of the agency. And we want people to be able to park conveniently and not reserve that privilege to the top brass, so to speak. So we do still have visitor parking signs. Those are staying. Of course, we still have accessible spaces, but the reserved spaces for executives are gone. So if you visit us, park where you want. You can even park in my space. It's not my space anymore. Next, I want to give you a heads up that we will be transitioning to a new unified payroll, time and attendance, and human resources information system. And I know you got to be thinking, oh no, changes like this are such a pain. We will be providing training, and believe me, once it's in place, you're going to love it. I think it's going to streamline things, make things easier to navigate. This will be happening in June, so stay tuned for details. I'm really excited about this transition. I also want to remind everyone of the process for resolving concerns or disputes about your particular position. If you have a concern about your schedule, about your coworkers, your compensation, your site assignment, it's always best to start with your supervisor. They're usually in the best position to resolve things. If that doesn't resolve things, you can try talking to a director or a vice president as appropriate to your position. While I'm always happy to make myself available, it really doesn't help to start with me. We have more than 600 employees here, so I'm usually not familiar with the details. And I just end up having to go back to your supervisor anyway. So it's best to start there. And then you can certainly escalate if you need to. While things can usually be settled informally, we do have a dispute resolution process. It's detailed on page 23 of the employee handbook, which is posted on the exchange. There's a form to fill out and submit to our Chief People Officer, Karen Keys, or if necessary to me, so it can be looked into. We are happy to work with you to try to resolve concerns whenever we possibly can. Finally, I want to say a word about the 4% cost of living adjustment in the state budget and what it means for raises. Uh, I believe that it really can't properly even be called a COLA, a cost of living adjustment, because it does not address the increased cost of living. A true cost of living adjustment would have been the 8.5% that the Consumer Price Index says we should have gotten and that we believe we should have gotten. It's 4%, it's not a COLA, it's a rate increase. And it's far less than what we needed, which is disappointing, but it is an increase. Now, sometimes there's a misconception that a COLA provided to agencies like Sassy is used strictly for staff wages. That's not the case. A COLA is spread across the rate. It's meant to fund all operating costs, including but not limited to wages. A COLA does not necessarily equal the amount of a raise for staff. Sometimes the media or elected officials erroneously call a 4% COLA a 4% raise for DSPs or a 4% raise for staff. And the reality is sometimes the raise ends up being more than the COLA, sometimes it ends up being less. Throughout last year, we were facing 8% inflation. In some areas of our operation, it was even more. Contracted transportation costs were up nearly 40% last year. Insurance up more than 10%. Utilities up more than 8%. Supply costs went up. Food costs went up. And I know they did for you too. COLAs are needed to fund those costs of doing business in addition to funding wage increases. Now, further complicating things, and this isn't easy to explain, is the fact that a 4% COLA now has to be calculated into our reimbursement rates by the state. I was told yesterday that the state expects to post our new rates with the 4% increase included by the end of June. Now, I've yet to ever see the state meet any of its own deadlines when it comes to rate setting. So maybe they'll do it. I have a feeling they won't. They don't tend to be timely about these things. But once we know our rate and we see what the reimbursement will actually be, did they really give us 4%? Did they try to mess around with it, which sometimes they do? Once we have a rate, they actually owe us the money going back to April 1st. But it usually takes till the next December or January for us to actually see any money. So yes, we have a funding increase. Yes, we will put every penny that we possibly can into wages for our hardworking staff. But I don't have a timeline on that yet because it's not as simple as the state budget passing and then we start immediately getting 4% more money. We don't even have a rate yet. So we're still sorting things out. If you don't hear anything right away, please know it is not because we don't want to give raises. We do. It is not because we don't want to tell you what's going on. Hopefully, you know me well enough now that I try to be very transparent with you about what's happening. But we do need to make sure that whatever we do in terms of wages, that we can afford to do it and that we can sustain it. The worst thing we can do is award a raise and then not be able to pay it. So I expect that there will be raises this year. It is something that we're working on. The sooner the better. But we just need some more information before we can tell you exactly what and exactly when. So I will keep you posted as things evolve. That's it for now. Thank you for watching, and thank you so much for all you do. We'll stay in touch.